Hi, my name is Richard Johnson. I'm a service management consultant at iCore, and today I would like to talk to you about the iCore approach for carrying out an Agile and DevOps maturity assessment. Now, before we go on to the approach, I want to talk a bit about the organisational drivers for carrying out such an assessment. So the first driver could be as a result of a small improvement initiative. So, for example, where a department or a team has identified a number of small improvements that could be carried out across the Agile and DevOps ways of working. The second driver could be around alignment of processes. So, for example, if an organisation is using traditional ITSM processes such as ITIL, there may be a drive to align those processes with Agile and DevOps ways of working. The third driver could be around strategy. So this could be where an organisation has got different Agile and DevOps teams using different ways of working, different strategies, and there's a real drive to pull that together into one cohesive strategy that can be rolled out across the organisation. And then the fourth driver could be a result of a much larger transformation programme of work, where there's big improvements to be looked at. For example, looking to move all waterfall-based projects into Agile ways of working. So moving on to the maturity assessment itself then. So the iCore approach for this is to take an holistic approach that doesn't just look at the technical aspects, but also some of the other areas as well. So the first aspect is around the organisational side of things. So, we look at things like the culture, the organisation. So as part of this, we may ask questions such as, how widespread is the Agile and DevOps processes across the organisation? Typically, what are the team structures? So are teams structured by product, component, features, or even cross-functional teams? We then start to look at the strategy. So what is the IT business and product strategies? How well aligned are those strategies across the organisation? And then the third piece around the organisation is the governance and funding. So what is the governance and funding model? What's the decision-making process as part of that? The second set of aspects is the technical aspect. So this is where we start to look at things like the design and architecture. So, what is the software delivery frameworks that are in place? What's the software release process? What's the cycle around that? And we also look at things like the architectural archetypes. So, so is the organisation using microservices, containers, etc.? Build and deployment. So, we start to think about, what's the level of automation across the build and deployment environments. And then the final piece around the technical aspects is the test and verification. So, so what test types are in place? So is it unit testing, system integration testing? What's the level of automation across those? The final set of aspects is the service aspects. So this is where we look at the alignment of service management processes with Agile and DevOps. So, for example, if an organisation is using ITIL for change and release management, how well aligned is that with the DevOps and Agile processes? And then the final piece is around reporting. So what KPIs are in place? What real-time reporting, if any, is in place across the software products? So that just gives you an idea of how iCore would carry out a maturity assessment process for DevOps and Agile. If you'd like to know more about this, then please visit our website at www.icore-ltd.com, or if you'd like to discuss it further, send us an email, info@icore-ltd.com. Thank you.